From the great state of Illinois, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the second city of Chicago. Today it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here, as it'll be our visitors taking on our home team. On the visiting sideline, their head coach. These guys finally got in the win column last week following 2 straight losses to start the year. His counterpart on the other side, the head coach of the home team. His guys ready to feed off the energy in this building as they try to win one in front of the home crowd. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he'll be touched down at the end, but a big play on that one.
39-yard gain on the play. First down, Chicago.
What's going on, guys? What are you doing? Come on, man.
And this offense has come out swinging here in the early going. They pick up a nice chunk on that pitch and catch. And the 2 of them have this offense moving in the right direction to start this game.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 14 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown.
It was a pretty mediocre week for him on the ground. Certainly a boon to his offense if he can get a little more output on his touches this week. He should get some more early carries as his team tries to get him into a rhythm.
They're throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
And that's the knowledge he gained from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. And his kick is right there. It's good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And they will be led out by a man in his sophomore campaign as the quarterback.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win. And that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there? Yeah. 2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught inside the 20. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And his guys have taken the lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
46-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. When you look at this defense, you know, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run, you know, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
Now this airmail to the sideline. It's incomplete. And there don't appear to be any flags forthcoming. Maybe a little fortunate there. It's 3rd down. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And Charles, these early season in-division games are always interesting because you're still kind of figuring yourself out, but you want to know as much as you can about the opponent, especially when it's a division matchup. So I'm curious to see how the rest of this one plays out.
Yeah, that's a good point, because they're still trying to work things out. They don't know everything about their own team, let alone trying to figure out their opponent. But you've got to do both on the fly, don't you? While the game's being played, figure it out both ways and try and find a way to win.
Right back to him on first down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw. And he rifles one incomplete. They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, that is incomplete.
Now that's a good bounce back after giving up a touchdown on the opening drive. Just 1 first down permitted and then out. Obviously no loss of confidence with that defense, and now they get to turn it back to their offense.
A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. On play action, they'll throw. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the...
Under pressure, they got him again. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down. And on now is the punter, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fielded just inside the 30. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
That's to the sideline and incomplete. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They're going to look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. 21 yards there on 3rd down.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
2nd and 10. Back to throw again. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Here's 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw again. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. And that'll bring up 4th down on a big sack with a loss of 5. And they'll send out their punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Now 2nd and 3. Now the first carry here for the running back. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
I spotted man coverage on the outside. I expect we'll see a lot of that from this defense as this game moves on. And that was a good job there as that one was knocked away.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Chicago offense set to get started. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 3. first carry here for their running back. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter down, it's our home team with possession, as they've got it with a third down coming up. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. An effective 7-yard third down conversion. Play fake here on first down. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down. Back to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. They run a draw here on second down. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. He'll look to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. From the 9, 2nd and 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get to ball carriers. But in this case, I think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
They'll set up a throw. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
And that flag accepted. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 14 yards that time for number 14.
First down, Chicago.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on third down, and they keep the drive going.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 2nd and 7. Back to throw here. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that'll bring up 4th down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And we'll find the open man. That's complete. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Back to throw now on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 7 yards there and a first down.
First down, Chicago.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now it's 2nd and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. He'll drop to throw. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
So now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. They'll break the huddle and come out with 4 receivers, 3 of them to the right side, 2nd and 7. They'll set up to throw. And that one to the right side and incomplete. Well, the incompletion, but now we also have an injured player. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. They'll drop to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They bring their punter out there now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So possession goes over here on the punt. The Chicago offense set to get started. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. He'll look to throw. All right, rifles one, that's going to be intercepted. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. But just a lot going on there in the middle of the field, and this one winds up a turnover.
Yeah, they're running a crossing route here, and the idea of it is to get defenders confused about who to go with. But if you throw it too early, sometimes it's your quarterback that gets confused, and here he throws it into coverage and gets it intercepted.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
Well, he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On first down, he'll drop to throw. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Now a first carry for their fullback. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Looking to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Now they'll run on the draw. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Only gets a yard, but it's enough to set him up 1st and goal. Now back to throw. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Halftime coming up. Let's get you down to Orlando and our buddy Scott Hansen with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick halftime report. We'll let both sides catch their breath and get their orange wedges as we're going to get ready for the 3rd quarter action. So let's go back out to the stadium as we rejoin our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Scott, we thank you as always, and we'll see what happens here in the 2nd half. Both teams trying to find the right formula to come out with the victory. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. This offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They'll look to throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Here's a 2nd and 7. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. That is caught. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a 3rd here, and it's good for a 1st.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there. 42 yards. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talked about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
The extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is up to 15 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range
but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Give them 32 on the play.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Over the middle, it's complete. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
They'll look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. From the 22 now, here's the 2nd down and 9. Now they go screen, it's complete. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. So they'll wind up losing 7 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Well, his completion percentage continues to rise with that one, but sometimes you want your completion percentage to go down. Maybe you should have thought about throwing that one away.
I was just going to say, it is easier said than done, but that's where you maybe bury it at his feet, make sure he doesn't catch it.
Great call right there. Put it near the receiver, no grounding, nothing like that, but no one gets a chance to pick it off either.
Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. From the left hash, this from 46. And this one is right through. And the lead now 11, 24-13. So 3 points, response there to that opening touchdown of this third quarter.
And that's an important 3, both in terms of adding to your lead, but also letting the other guys know you're not going to just come out in the second half and take over.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. And they'll send the tight end in motion. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. Excellent job pushing through tacklers that time to pick up 6.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he stopped immediately there. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
It's now 3rd and 4.
And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further. So maybe a little bit of an anxious moment there as that ball got closer and closer, but it does curl in.
Yeah, actually did a little bit of a slow dance there with the left upright, didn't it? But had just enough space, as you said, for it to curl in.
Oh, good move. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Chicago offense set to get started. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Looking middle, and that's complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one good for 24 yards.
At the 40-yard line.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports, as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter. Second and 3. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. The again, he'll drop to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They have to like the position that they are in. Fourth quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that one too wide. And incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. They'll look to throw here on first down. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. From the 23, here's a 2nd and 5. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they're able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And they'll manage to break a tackle and get this forward for a couple. It'll be 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 8. Got his man on the out route. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there. His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Oh, nice move. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The visitors' offense and their big play wideout getting ready to get back to work. And he's looking to finish strong. He has been the star of the show as they have just had absolutely no answers for him defensively. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. So the penalty there for a block in the back.
And that's when you normally see a blocker put his hands up right away to say, no, I didn't do it. But this time, yes, you did.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Back to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. look to throw again. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Second down and 4. They're going to look to throw. And he can't escape, and down he goes. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third. They'll set up a throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. From the 42-yard line, here's a 2nd down and 4. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. Back to throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says what?
No turnover.
Don't turn the ball over. 0. And they were that close to getting it done. Won't cost them today, but they'll hate that when they're watching the game tape.
The Chicago offense set to get started. And the fumble recovery was an important first step, but still a huge 4th quarter hole to dig out of. Down 3 scores. They'll try and start this drive in the air. A quick throw there is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll be stopped at about the 38 after a pickup of 4. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. He'll look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They'll set up to throw. On this one, incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down. They'll drop to throw. His throw incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'll look to throw again. And that is incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The fourth down pass play doesn't work out. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out in your midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play.
Yeah, the ball was knocked out. Now the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last two, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. And last time, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. 2 yards
on the pickup. It's second and 8.
They'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Hands it off out of the gun. And down he goes, but the stiff arm utilized effectively there, and it helps him move the sticks.
A gain of 7. First down, Chicago.
He'll look to throw. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he is out of bounds. Looks like right at the 15. Second down and inches. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first.
First and 10 at the 13-yard line.
They'll look to throw here. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. And they'll run on the inside handoff. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as it comes with 1:15 left to go in the second half. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. They'll start on the ground here on first down. He had to fight that time. Ran through 1 tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
At the 6-yard line.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. He's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line. So they bring out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And this coaching staff, CD, I think you'd agree, pleased with this overall effort.
Oh, I think they're more than pleased, right? They've got to look at each other like, wow, we just pulled this one off in a big way. Great job of motivating. Even better job of game planning. They were facing a top 10 defense, so they had to make sure that everything was buttoned down, and they had it ready to go, and their guys executed.
Yeah, they were concerned not only about moving the ball through the air, but also on the ground, but both really started to come in sync. So for Chicago, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Chicago, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.